You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
Good morning. It is President's Day, federal holiday, so we're glad you're with us on this Monday morning.
That is right. Some schools out there are closed too, so kids get to sleep in a little bit this morning.
Parents too.
Yeah,
yes.
parents too. That's right. That's right. Thanks for joining us. I'm Stephanie Webb.
I'm Ray Collins. John Scalzi went for a walk last night to see the sunset, but said it was too crowded and came back home.
Yeah. I tell you what, though, it was beautiful from my backyard even. It was absolutely gorgeous. The whole weekend was fantastic, actually, wasn't it? A lot of sunshine around and beautiful, beautiful colors in the sky. I think this will be no exception today. We're looking at pretty much the same thing. Commute forecast for those of you who are on the roads this morning. Everything looks great. Don't really have any issues whatsoever to talk about this morning weather-wise. Maybe some patchy fog might develop, but at the present time, I certainly wouldn't change any timetables because of the potential for some patchy fog around. We're looking at rain-free conditions across the entire state this morning. Big ridge of high pressure sitting right over us. The big notable thing I think that will happen for us today is we are going to see some very warm temperatures. We'll talk all about that coming up in just a few.
All right, very good. Talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Checking the roads right now. First off, in Manatee County, showing all clear so far. Actually, it is 5:01 in the morning. That'll be the case. Closer look there at the upper half of Sarasota County. Little blip there on Clark Road as you head eastbound. A little farther south, no problem there. And our final maps to the south will show us that it's all clear, so no problem with the morning commute. It'll be quieter today, of course, due to the federal holiday. Here's a live picture of 14th and 10th Street, where the Florida DOT is warning people to slow down this morning because of construction. In the construction zone, you can only drive 30 miles an hour when workers are present, or you'll be fined. They're trying to beef up the medians there in preparation for new roundabouts going in at 41 and 14th
That's right.
and 41 and 10th.
All right. Well, we are getting a new glimpse of the former student accused of the deadly school shooting rampage in Florida this morning.
The suspect was caught on camera fighting at the school in 2016 and was later suspended one of 5 times. He was disciplined by the school before getting expelled. ABC's Candace Gibson has some video for us.
Overnight, new video of the alleged Florida shooter fighting with classmates. First obtained by our Miami station, WPLG. That's him in the white shirt in a brawl with several students last year. The family who welcomed the alleged shooter into their home saying, "We had this monster living under our roof and we didn't know." Kimberly Sneed and her husband James telling the Sun-Sentinel newspaper, "Everything everybody seems to know, we didn't know." The 19-year-old pictured here at his mother's funeral. The alleged killer moving in with the Sneeds after her death. They say he followed every rule of their home to the T, but that he was battling depression and days before the shooting took him to a therapist. The day of the massacre, Kimberly Sneed says she left home to run errands. By the time she returned, the alleged shooter was gone. The next and last time they saw him, he was in custody. They say he apologized. One classmate telling ABC News he likely waited for Valentine's Day to carry out his plan.
Love was something that Nick never really understood, and I feel like Valentine's Day might have been a trigger as to why that day was the day he chose to do this.
This morning, we know the alleged shooter has now invoked his right to remain silent. He's being held in solitary confinement and remains on suicide watch.
There's no doubt in my mind that Nicholas Cruz shot many people, killed 17. The killer is in custody, and we'll move forward with the legal process.
Candace Gibson, ABC News, New York.
The Sarasota County School District is also asking the community for feedback on safety and security prior to an upcoming school safety task force meeting with Governor Rick Scott on Tuesday in Tallahassee. Now, if you would like to submit some of your ideas or your opinions, we want to hear them. Head online to mysuncoast.com. We have a link up to the county's feedback form. Feedback is going to be accepted through next week.
In response to last week's mass shooting, some schools across the country are reevaluating their active shooter training. One school in Kansas wants to make sure that students and staff have more choices if there's a shooter on campus. The new program is called ALICE, which stands for Alert, Lockdown, Inform, Counter, and Evacuate. It's aimed to give people different choices to escape. A program instructor says simply huddling in a classroom is no longer the best choice.
Unfortunately, what past shootings have shown us is that when you just shelter and hide, the gunman is able to go from classroom to classroom.
The ALICE program prioritizes people to evacuate the building, locking and barricading their doors, and even countering with the shooter with distraction techniques in order to escape.
President Trump will host a listening session on school safety this week, Wednesday. He's going to be meeting with students and teachers, but it's still unclear if anyone from Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida will be there. Now, they planned a town hall meeting of their own on the same day that President Trump will be in town.
Well, I can say right now, I won't be at the listening session. I'll be at the town hall. I believe that most of my colleagues will be at the town hall and not at the listening session. If Donald Trump wants to listen to us, he should have taken the first invitation. We are not going to come to him. He needs to come to us.
And some students are angry at Trump's response to the massacre, including his tweets on Saturday. He tweeted out that the FBI is spending too much time investigating Russia, but it missed warning signs about the Florida gunman. The president will also talk school safety with state and local school officials this week.
And JetBlue wants to help the families impacted by last Wednesday's shooting in Broward County. The airline announced it's offering free flights for victims' relatives traveling to Florida. JetBlue will also partner with the ride-sharing company Lyft to provide free ground transportation as well.
Well, for a while now, we have been talking about the flu and how the virus has been impacting people here on the Suncoast. With still 2 months left to go in flu season, there are some home remedies that maybe could help fight it.
Our Marla Spence joins us with what doctors say about taking a more natural approach and if the flu can be cured holistically. Marla?
Yeah, thanks, Ray and Stephanie. That's right. You know, this morning the question is whether the flu can be cured with natural medicine. Well, the answer is yes. I'm inside of our ABC kitchen this morning, and this is where we can find in our very cabinets items that can put those flu symptoms right in the bud. Now, we spoke to Dr. Michael House, a doctor who practices holistic and alternative medicine with the All Natural Healing Medical Center in Sarasota, and he explains that people have been getting the flu and have been living on Earth for hundreds of years. He recommends natural and homeopathic medicine to anyone, including those who have flu or want to prevent the flu. Dr. House also mentions people should exhaust all natural ways before going to pharmaceutical drugs in order to prevent from having any side effects.
With homeopathic medicine, it's kind of a strange medicine that the more they dilute the substance, the stronger it is. And what actually happens is there's less atoms, so they bounce off each other faster. And homeopathic medicine has been around for hundreds of years. In fact, all the medical schools were homeopathic schools.
Dr. House also mentioned prevention is the best way to keep the flu away. How exactly can you prevent from getting the flu this season? We're telling you coming up at 5:30. I'm Marla Spence reporting live in our ABC kitchen this morning for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thanks, Marla. Be safe on that commute back. All right, for more tips on how to stay healthy during the flu season, just head over to our app. You can find it in the App Store under WWSB or My Suncoast.
5:08 right now. Still have the latest in First Alert traffic and weather on this President's Day. And local schools respond to several bomb threats over the weekend. What parents are saying about keeping their kids in the school.
And coming up a little later in the hour, a new tax scam that can leave you without a tax return. We're going to show you how to stay steps ahead of the ID thieves. Stick around.
65 degrees right now in Sarasota. Not that mild, though, in the nation's capital. Pretty shot there looking down the road there, perhaps Pennsylvania Avenue at the Rotunda. Pretty shot there. 5:09. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
Thousands of award-winning Honda SUVs are on sale from $189 a month during the Honda President's Day sales event. You've got to see these SUVs. Get a surprisingly spacious 2018 HR-V, $189 a month, or step up to Pilot for $289 a month with available seating for 8. Plus, we have Motor Trend's SUV of the Year, the 2018 CR-V, and Ridgeline, a Car and Driver's 10 Best, all on sale for up to $3,805 less than the competition at your local Honda dealer.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
I actually started playing the game at 11 years old, so I started a little bit later than most players. But I was actually raised on Fighting Joe. The value here at Robert Trent Jones is unsurpassable. I mean, I have looked to other places. I've traveled all the way across the country. Everything is perfect as far as everything is the golf course, the rolling of the greens. Everything that I've encountered has just been absolutely incredible. And for the money that you spend, for the value that you actually get, it is unsurpassable. I'd recommend it for anybody.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Well, we definitely had some beautiful mornings over the weekend, and today is certainly no exception. We're starting off even a little bit warmer than we did over the course of the weekend. 66 degrees in Mayaca, Lakewood Ranch, Bradenton, Sarasota's at 65, 68 in Venice, and 69 at Longboat Key. So that's a big difference over the course of the last couple of days. 65, the current air temperature officially at the airport with a dew point of 63. That represents about a 4 or 5 degree warmer than 24-hour ago temperature currently across the region, most everywhere. Some places are coming in about the same, Arcadia, Punta Gorda. But for the most part, we're looking at a warmer start. The reason for that is we have a frontal boundary to the north of us. We have a nice southeasterly wind flow, and we don't have much in the way of any kind of lifting air across the region. Everything's kind of sinking under the influence of a big dome of high pressure, bringing us pretty much cloud-free skies. Fog, not a big issue this morning. We do have some fog to the north of us and in inland areas, but across our region, all our visibilities are right now at about 10 miles or better. Now, we could see some patchy fog develop over the next hour or so, and we'll keep an eye on that for you and let you know should that occur. But right now, things are looking good. As of 7 o'clock, expected temperature of about 75 under breaking dawn. Should be just beautiful out there. It was 79 degrees by 12 noon. And we are on our way, once again, to breaking that 80-degree mark. In fact, significantly coming in probably in the low to mid 80s today. I'll go with about 84 with a 3 p.m. temperature. And then as we head into the evening, a beautiful evening, 76 degrees, a lot of sunshine around. The hour-by-hour forecast put into motion shows a general easterly to southeasterly wind flow under a sunny sky. Heading into the afternoon, we'll look for those temperatures to crack the 80 mark, and then as we go into the mid-afternoon, even warmer still. 84 in Sarasota, 87 in Northport, 86 in Arcadia. I'll tell you what, some places across the interior sections of the state of Florida this week will probably hit the 90 mark, or get pretty close to it anyway. So there will probably be records broken this week. Certainly records for consecutive 80-degree days for the month of February will be broken to today actually. Tampa will break their record today. We'll continue on with that easterly wind flow or southeasterly wind flow as we head into the evening hours. I don't expect fog to be a big problem tonight. I think the temperatures will remain just a little bit warm for that. Scattered showers to the north of us. That's all part of a little frontal boundary, but I'll tell you what, it's not producing any rainfall for us. This map, I don't show this very often, but this is the moisture in the atmosphere that's available for rain, these kind of purplish and bluish colors. That's basically dry air. Redder is wetter on this map. watch where the red is. It's back to the west. It is not over the state of Florida or the southern section of the United States, where that dry air will continue to be with us really right straight through the better part of the week. I think I don't see much in the way of any kind of rainfall this week. The low pressure area drags this front north as a warm front. We stay under the influence of this high pressure ridge. We get this southerly wind flow bringing the heat up our way and all along the eastern seaboard actually, and we stay well above average in our temperatures once again this week. Lots of sunshine, no rain in the forecast, and just a warm afternoon. If you're off today and going to do a little boating, should be great. Southeast wind coming in at about 5 to 10, switching more easterly later in the day, coming in at about 10 knots. That'll bring you a light chop with 2-foot seas. And the forecast calls for a 9:08 low tide and a 2:34 high tide. And for the rest of the week, expect those temperatures to be really very warm with no rain any day in this forecast. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look outside for your first alert traffic this morning. If you're heading into Manatee County, those roads are actually looking pretty good out there today. One small little blip on 301. If you're heading into North Sarasota, those roads are actually, if we could head into North Sarasota, those roads are actually looking pretty good out there today as well. Not too much to see it there on this hour. As we mentioned, there's a holiday going on, so not a lot of traffic. If you're heading a little farther into South Sarasota, those roads are looking pretty clear this morning. And even farther south, again, a really good commute out there. Not too much to see. Most of those roads are looking smooth out there. It is 5:16, and that is your first alert traffic.
Some Manatee County students and their parents are talking about skipping school this week after a social media threat on Friday.
Now, they were discovered the day after the deadly school shooting in Parkland. One included a handwritten note found at Manatee High threatening violence. ABC 7's Erica Jackson spoke with students and parents about their concerns.
Bradenton police say a Manatee High School student found a note threatening a shooting at the school on Thursday at 12:15 p.m. They're still investigating where that note came from while taking proactive measures like increasing police presence at the school to keep students safe.
I don't think that my life should be put at risk for going to school.
It's a place where children should feel safe, but some students like Jordan Sword are afraid they will walk into school one morning and never come out.
I've been making sure my teachers lock their doors and follow everything that they're supposed to be doing.
I feel like I'm in a nightmare sometimes.
Maria Mello doesn't want to worry about her daughter's safety after a threatening note surfaced targeting Manatee High. So she's keeping her daughter home from school on Tuesday, and the next day, and the next day, until she feels it's safe enough to return.
I don't think it's worth getting hurt, and since somebody has gone to the extreme of letting us know that they're going to do something on Thursday, I'm going to listen.
Children should not have anxiety about whether or not they're safe, because it would be very difficult to learn and focus on your schoolwork.
School board chairman Scott Hopes doesn't recommend keeping students home from school. District officials are enforcing new operating procedures and making sure doors, gates, and locks are secure. After multiple threats against Manatee County schools surfaced on social media last week, school board members visited schools on Friday, looking for challenges and ways to improve.
We've got infrastructure issues, we've got human resource issues. But there are things that we can do now.
Hopes warns parents to be prepared for major security changes at all schools. The district is considering implementing new technology, including an electric locking system.
Most likely it will mean that you'll have one way to get into your child's school, and you're going to need ID. Much like when you're going into a hospital.
But until Bradenton police ID the person responsible for making the recent threat, Jordan will stay far away from the Manatee High School campus with many unanswered questions.
Why it was our school, and why, if somebody were to do this as a joke, why would they do it?
Manatee High School faculty and the school board will meet separately this week behind closed doors to discuss current and new security procedures. Governor Rick Scott is calling for a meeting next week with legislators and local school representatives, including those here in Manatee County, to discuss ways to keep students safe throughout the state. Reporting at Manatee High School, Erica Jackson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
And we also should mention that yesterday, parents at Riverview received a robocall from the acting principal about a possible threat at that high school.
Right in Riverview as well.
But schools are off today in Sarasota and Manatee County for President's Day.
Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, Facebook is trying to figure out just how many of their ads are fake. We're going to show you how they're going old school to fight Russian hacking.
And Elon Musk has a new goal. It involves high-speed internet through SpaceX. 5:20 right now. President's Day 2018. Here's a peek outside at some construction ongoing on 41 between 10th and 14th. This is going to reduce your ability to turn left between those two streets. They're building roundabouts there. Much more on that. More local news after this.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
I'm Alan Cohn, protesting a fire chief. A fire district in Manatee County spending thousands in attorney fees. Is the chief to blame or the firefighters?
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
And there's a live picture from Columbus Circle where it's 36 degrees right now in Manhattan. A little milder here, thankfully. Pretty shot, though, just the same of Midtown Manhattan. I was on Siesta Key yesterday and had a chance to take a picture of a sandcastle. It was actually Batman's head.
What? Oh my gosh.
And
very impressive.
Get this, moments after I took this picture, the wind blew it over.
No, all that work. That's very impressive.
The artist said, "Can you send me that picture?" I said, how much do you have with you? How much money?
Right now. Side business.
Yeah, there's our respective Facebook addresses. Say hello when you get a chance. Like the pages as well. It's 5:23 as you awaken on this President's Day 2018.
All right, a reminder this morning from the IRS. Tax season can also be scam season, and there is a brand new warning that's out today. Investigators say thieves are filing phony tax returns and using real information. They're having the refunds then deposited in taxpayers' actual checking accounts. The identity thieves then call and impersonate an IRS debt collector, saying the refund money was deposited by accident and they need it back. And we all know where that money ends up, right back in the thieves' account. So how are the identity thieves getting your personal information in the first place? Well, according to the IRS, probably from the recent data breaches. Two things. First, the IRS will never call you by phone, so don't fall for that one. Second, your best defense is to file your taxes early. And airport security lines could start moving a little faster if a new technology tested in LA works out. The TSA is working on a new security system that's based on facial recognition. Now, the goal is to match up a passenger's boarding pass and ID with their faces. The system's going to be tested at LAX in Los Angeles this month.
I just had to show my boarding pass and scan my passport and then look into the camera and it recognizes who you are.
In addition, the TSA is trying out new imaging machines that would also replace traditional body scanners. So instead of going through that tube that you walk through, this one is being tested. You just stand in front of the machine and the TSA agent looks for anything suspicious. It's designed to be a little bit less claustrophobic and a little faster as well. Well, Facebook plans to mail out verification postcards through the U.S. Postal Service to anyone purchasing ads related to the U.S. elections.
ABC's Candace Gibson and Diana Macedo, or actually Linda Lopez, have details in this morning's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Facebook is going low-tech in its fight against Russian election meddling.
Soon, anyone who wants to buy an election ad will be sent a postcard with a special code to prove that they're in the U.S.
It'll be implemented before the midterm elections in November.
And SpaceX is sending 2 experimental satellites into space on Wednesday.
Those satellites will test the technology that SpaceX plans to use to deliver high-speed internet service across the globe.
And there's a new alarm that makes you put your foot down.
That gets annoying. It's called the Ruggie. It's designed to help chronic oversleepers, and it's said to be snooze-proof.
And that's because it won't stop beeping until you stand on it for at least 3 seconds.
How long before you chuck it to the other side of the room?
Throw it across.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Tech Bites. Brought to you by Mucinex Fast Max.
Kelly, we're out of body wash. What are you doing? I thought you had a cold.
I don't need all this. Mucinex Fast Max is powerful enough to handle most of my symptoms.
Name one.
How about 9? Sore throat, cough, even...
Yeah, I can read, you know.
We're done here.
Ah! Boogers to Betsy!
Mucinex Fast Max cold, flu, and sore throat. 9 symptoms, 1 dose. Let's end this. And for kids' multi-symptom relief, try #1 recommended children's Mucinex.
You thought about it, dreamt about it. Maybe you should just go ahead and do it. We're LegalZoom, and we've helped over 1 million people just like you start their own businesses. LegalZoom, where life meets legal.
There's only one national orange juice brand that only uses 100% American oranges. Simply Orange and Tropicana ship in juice from overseas. Only Florida's Natural grows all of our oranges in Florida. Great taste, naturally.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with 1 telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, restaurant guide, and more. Go to mysuncoast.com/dining.
Coming up this morning on Good Morning Suncoast, President Trump to hold a listening session this week with students and teachers to hear their feedback on school safety.
Flu season is still around. Whether natural medicine can cure or prevent the flu is straight ahead.
And a brush fire is spreading overnight on Florida's East Coast. We'll tell you the unusual possible cause this half hour on Good Morning Suncoast.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
Good morning to you on this Monday morning, President's Day, a holiday. Many people at home today getting to sleep in a little bit.
Yes.
Gorgeous weekend. Yesterday marked the very first beach day of the new season. I thank John Scalzi for that beautiful forecast.
You thank John directly, do you?
Yeah, John was directly involved with that beautiful sunshine out there yesterday. Gorgeous day at the beach.
Yeah, got the hotline.
Right. Oh, got it.
Wow.
Nah, we're looking at the continuation of that beautiful weather really right straight through the next couple of mornings. Take a look at the Cortez Bridge webcam. Of course, the traffic is a little bit light this morning, not a lot of action out there. But the important thing is that I'm not seeing any fog here whatsoever, all during the nighttime hours. And that's a good indication of the slightly drier air that's kind of slipped into the region. That's going to limit the amount of fog that we get. Plus, we have an atmosphere that's kind of a little more stirred up over the next several days. And that's going to also help to limit the amount of fog that we get. No rain across the entire region. You can kind of see the effect of an easterly wind flow by a few scattered showers over in the Atlantic. But that's really no problem for us whatsoever. Has no bearing on our forecast at all. We are going to have a nice warm day today. Get ready for that. It'll be very busy at the beach, I suspect, this afternoon as temperatures climb into the 80s, well into the 80s, in fact, probably close to the mid 80s in most locations. We'll have that complete forecast for you coming up in a few.
It has. Beautiful.
Let's check the roads right now. Shouldn't be much of a problem today. A little blip there, 301 northbound as it really kind of heads due east, heading toward Ellington, toward the mall there. Otherwise, pretty quiet in Manatee. Northern half of Sarasota, no real problems there. A little issue there on the North Bridge coming off Siesta Key, but that's not too bad. Farther south, okay. Opening up our map to the Northport area and the Charlotte County line. Nothing much to speak of. A little blip there on the road, but we'll keep that. We'll check on that right now. 5:32 on this Monday morning.
Well, did a weekend tweet from President Trump go too far? We're going to have that story for you in just a moment. But first, we want to take a look out and about this morning. We've got some construction going on near 14th Street and 10th Street.
Yeah, the state is building two roundabouts and construction is continuing, and it's going to cause a problem with left-hand turns and also even for the 10th Street boat ramp. You can't turn left coming from the south. So we'll have details throughout the morning about the ongoing construction project on US 41 between 10th and 14th Streets.
All right, so did that weekend tweet from President Trump go too far? Well, this week he's going to be promising to hold a listening session with students and teachers.
ABC's Arlette Saenz has the latest from Washington.
President Trump unleashed a new attack on the FBI, linking one of the deadliest school shootings in history to the Russia investigation. The president tweeted, "Very sad that the FBI missed all of the many signals sent out by the Florida school shooter. This is not acceptable. They are spending too much time trying to prove Russian collusion with the Trump campaign. There is no collusion." That tweet drew criticism from members of his own party.
The president should be staying out of law enforcement business.
So many folks in the FBI are doing all that they can to keep us safe. The reality of it is that they are two separate issues.
Morgan Williams, a student who witnessed the shooting, slammed the president in a tweet. "Oh my God, 17 of my classmates and friends are gone, and you have the audacity to make this about Russia. Have a damn heart." Over the weekend, families said their final goodbyes to the children killed in the massacre. As the community grieves, the survivors are turning the loss of 17 lives into a rallying cry.
They say that tougher gun laws do not decrease gun violence. We call BS!
Students are calling for nationwide walkouts and marches next month, demanding an end to gun violence.
March 24th, in every single city, we are going to be marching together as students begging for our lives.
The White House says the president will hold a listening session with high school students and teachers later this week. He'll also meet with state and local officials to discuss school safety. Arlette Saenz, ABC News, Washington.
A top GOP donor is turning up the pressure on fellow Republicans to support an assault weapons ban. Real estate developer Al Hoffman Jr. told CNN he was motivated by the school shooting in Parkland. Hoffman says he is reaching out not only to donors but also politicians. He's telling them not to expect any money from him unless they do something about gun legislation.
Now I've got to adopt a plan whereby we contact every Republican donor around the country to endorse the adoption of a ban on assault weapons. The majority of people in the country are for that.
According to the New York Times, Hoffman sent the message to Florida Governor Rick Scott and former Governor Jeb Bush, among others, on Saturday.
Well, today is President's Day, a federal holiday that coincides with George Washington's birth month and also honors all the presidents since. All schools, government offices, libraries closed today. Sarasota and Manatee area transit will operate normal daily routes, and garbage, yard waste, and recyclables will be collected as usual. For an in-depth list of all the holiday closures on the Suncoast, go to our website, mysuncoast.com.
Well, for those of you who haven't gotten your flu shot this season, do natural or holistic approaches work?
Our Marla Spence talked to one local doctor and has details about the natural approach to fighting the flu. Marla.
Yeah, Ray and Stephanie, a holistic doctor in Sarasota tells us that preventative measures and holistic medicine can get rid of the flu and also prevent you from getting the flu. We spoke to Dr. Michael House with All Natural Healing Medical Center in Sarasota, and he tells us that prevention is the #1 way of not getting the flu. For those who have chosen not to get the flu shot this year, he says your lungs regulate your immune system, and that's how people either get sick or stay healthy.
You have a thin layer of energy, which the Chinese call qi, underneath your skin, and when your lungs are strong, humans should never get sick or have any type of allergies, food or environmental.
A few ways Dr. House recommend you preventing the flu is by staying away from dairy-like products. He says things like cow milk, almond, rice, and soy milk, even cheese and yogurt people should stay away from. He said those can cause mucus in your lungs, and that's how you can end up getting sick. He also mentioned that working out and staying up to date with your cardio is also a great way to staying healthy. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we're going to be giving you some home remedies, some items that you might find right in your kitchen cabinet to help you stay healthy this flu season. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Okay, thank you, Marla. Here's some good news. The CDC says that flu activity did not increase that much last week, and we might be reaching our peak finally. But there's still a while to go. The flu is landing more Americans in the hospital, especially due to this year's vaccine, only about 1/3 effective now. Right now, it's the only solution health officials can find, though.
Getting a flu shot, as recommended for every American over 6 months of age, makes you less likely to get the flu and less likely to spread it to those who are most vulnerable, our children and senior citizens.
The vaccine has also shown more effectiveness in children than the CDC expected. The majority of the children who have died of flu complications this year did not receive the vaccination.
Well, when it comes to your kids, it's especially important to recognize those early symptoms. Young children are at risk of serious flu complications if not recognized and treated immediately. Now, one of the flu strains that are spreading this season, H3N2, is affecting kids more than most, and that has a lot of people asking, why is this one so deadly?
Sometimes it's the virus infection itself that can become so severe in a person that it can result in death. The flu virus weakens your immune system, and you can get a bacterial infection on top of it.
Recognizing early flu warning signs is also critical. These are a few of those. If your child is having trouble breathing or perhaps breathing too fast, has a bluish skin color, or is not waking up or not interacting, or unusually irritable in that case.
For a full list of President's Day closures, you can go to our website at mysuncoast.com or get it at your fingertips by downloading our app. Just search for WWSB or My Suncoast in the App Store.
So how much is too much when it comes to kids playing video games? Well, according to the CDC, more kids are spending 5 or more hours a day playing video games. But some experts say, wait a minute, it is not all bad. There are actually some positives to playing those video games, such as helping some people with social anxiety communicate with others while playing. And then some of those games can actually combat depression. But you know it is getting to be a problem if someone makes video games a priority over other things like work, school, or even eating. Then it obviously could lead to an addiction.
You see weight loss, you'll see health problems. You know, if you're not going to the bathroom, you might see kidney problems. So these are things that folks will neglect, and they get so focused on the game that they really almost forget that they're in a body. And with that comes it's real problems and how the mind and body really are connected.
Now, parents, you are warned to practice what you preach by monitoring your own time spent on your cell phones and watching TV, which also can be a form of addiction.
A Jacksonville area judge is deciding whether a 17-year-old born as a girl should be allowed to use the boys' bathroom at school. This federal lawsuit was filed 2 years ago in St. Johns County when Drew was a freshman. He has since gone through hormone treatment and even surgery. For about 6 weeks, he used the boys' bathroom, but the school district told him he'd have to start using a gender-neutral bathroom or the girls' room. An identical issue was debated in Sarasota County the past couple of years involving a student at Pineview School. A brush fire on the state's east coast has grown to more than 200 acres now. Crews are still trying to contain this fire in Brevard County near Cocoa Beach and Melbourne. No official cause has been released, but an airboat may have sparked the fire. It was reported yesterday afternoon and is still growing westward in Florida. And this week, marine biologists are discussing the recovery of coral reefs in the Florida Keys. The Keys were hit hard by Hurricane Irma last September. Sponges in areas of lower Keys were smothered by sediment, leading to fatal suffocation. Many corals were cracked or overturned. And while underwater debris cleanups are ongoing, there is concern that tourism could still be impacted. After all, tourism experts say the water generates $2 billion in revenue a year, and that does not include several $100 million for commercial fishing as well.
Wow, what an amazing underwater shot that was of them all doing that cleanup.
Was it
too.
nice? I
Yeah,
couldn't watch. Cool. I was busy reading. I couldn't watch.
It's a great video. We're going to go back and make Ray take a look at it.
Please do. 5:42 up next. First alert: traffic and weather, and a new warning for parents about those e-cigarettes. We'll have details of the dangers of vaping.
And these students at Penn State raised more than $10 million for cancer research. We'll show you the special way they did it when we come back.
Here's today's job of the day. ABC7 is seeking a part-time media controller to manage various stages of video on-air content playout. General computer skills are an absolute must. Visit mysuncoast.com/job-of-the-day to apply.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422. It's time to take a road trip.
Alabama's got 100 road trips, and some of the best are music to your ears, like the Alabama Music Hall of Fame. Or head over to Muscle Shoals and Fame Studios. Are you a star yet?
My mama thinks so.
Or, if that's your stomach I hear grumbling, our barbecue is almost a religious experience. Food good here? Best in the country. Alabama's got 100 road trips.
Which one you gonna take?
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So temperatures very mild across the area. Very warm indeed with 65 rather in Sarasota. And 60s everywhere really. 66 Arcadia, Wauchula. Mayaca at 65, so is Parrish, Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch. 67 degrees in Venice and Inglewood. 66 Northport, Longboat Key comes in at 68. These warm temperatures are going to carry on really right straight through the week. And as far as fog goes, that's not going to be as big an issue this week as it was last week. And that because our temperatures are going to be a little warmer. We have a little less humidity in the air. Our dew point value is a little smaller. And the spread between our air temperature and our dew point values are going to become wider and wider as we progress through the week ahead. 65 degrees, our current air temperature. Dew point values 63. We have an east wind coming in at about 5. That easterly wind flow is going to switch a little bit more to the southeast today. And that's going to, I think, really bring the heat up. And across the, not only the Florida Peninsula, but I think across the deep south as well. We're going to see numerous temperature records broken, I think, as we head into the week ahead, especially in the state of Florida. Visibility, as I mentioned, not too terribly bad. We do have some reduced visibility around Punta Gorda, but still over 2 miles, so not too bad. And most everywhere else is coming in at 10 miles or better. Today's planner looks awesome. 65 degrees by the time we get to 7 a.m. this morning. We'll look for 79 degrees as we get into 12 noon. Temperatures rising very rapidly under the influence of plentiful amount of sunshine and that wind that's generally out of the east, coming at us over land as opposed to coming over water. And then as we head into the afternoon, watch those temperatures crack the 80-degree mark. And really, most everyone will be in the 80s for daytime highs all week long. You'd have to go pretty far north to see temperatures that'll be in the 70s for highs. 84 degrees by 3 p.m. and then by 7 p.m. this evening, 76 degrees with a fair amount of sunshine. Hour by hour through the day, temperatures continue to rise under the influence of almost full sunshine today. As we head into the afternoon, we're solidly in the 80s. Winds start to shift a little bit more to the southeast. Beautiful boating weather. And then as we head into the evening period, I think temperatures will start to fall off a little more slowly tonight than they did yesterday. We'll bottom it out as we head into tomorrow morning in the 60s once again. And again, I don't think fog is going to be a big issue. Rain showers along a frontal boundary just to the north of us, stretching from the mid-Atlantic all the way back into the open plains. Potential in areas from Indiana, Illinois, bang through Kansas for some severe weather today. But that low pressure area that's spinning around and lifting north carries this front northward as a warm front, and most of the deep south, the mid-Atlantic, and even the northeast are going to have some extraordinarily warm temperatures over the next several days, thanks to that high pressure ridge bringing us that southerly wind flow. So good weather. If you have today off, oh, it's going to be spectacular. Lots of sunshine, no rain, and a warm afternoon. Forecast shaping up like this. Today we look for a southeast wind at about 5 to 10, switching east at about 10 knots, light chop, 2-foot seas, nice boating weather. Forecast for today, daytime high tops out at around 84. And over the next several days, we do the same. In fact, we warm further. Some inland locations will probably see temperatures pretty close to the 90 mark. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Todd. Let's take a look at first alert traffic. Running pretty smooth out there this morning because it is a holiday, not so many cars on the roads. So if we're looking in Manatee County right now, those roads are looking pretty smooth. Just a little bit of a blip there on southbound 301. And then in North Sarasota County, those roads are looking pretty good out there as well. And if you're heading into South Sarasota, those roads are looking pretty good as well too. Really, as farther south that you head, all those roads are looking pretty smooth out there this morning. Nice commute if you're heading into work, if you don't have the day off. At 5:50, that is your first alert traffic. Well, parents are being warned of a new trend among teens. Now, this device known as the Juul kind of looks like a USB port, but it's actually used for vaping. E-cigarettes are supposed to be up for 18 years and up, but teens are actually finding them online on websites like eBay. Then they send the package home before you get home from work. There are YouTube videos that teach kids how to hide their vape sticks in their binders and socks so they can even use them at school.
The number one thing you can do is to talk to your kids. Explain to them that these things can be dangerous. They can lead to a lifetime of addiction.
Now, on its website, the company says it doesn't market to teens and that the, quote, the Juul Lab's mission is to eliminate cigarettes by offering existing adult smokers an alternative to cigarettes.
Students at Penn State raised more than $10 million for
$10 million.
Cancer research. Great cause. $10 million? They did it on their feet for 46 hours as part of the annual dance marathon known as Thon.
Feeling in the world, knowing that all our hard work and long hours that we put in throughout the fundraising window came to fruition.
Money raised benefits pediatric cancer patients and their families at the Penn State Hershey Medical Center. So child cancer survivors and their families also took part. Student dancers aren't allowed to sleep or even sit down. Oof. 46 hours. They're helped by thousands of others in support roles as well. That's a $10 million.
Well done. That is
$10 million?
impressive. That is impressive.
That's
well done, students.
Great student activity there.
Yeah, there is.
Let's take a live shot now of the nation's capital as you awaken on this President's Day. How appropriate.
Right from Washington.
Yep, 5:52 right now as dawn is about to break across the East Coast. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Everything all right? Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
Selfless service is the guiding principle of every Army National Guard soldier. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. To be an Army National Guard soldier is to serve something greater than yourself. Learn more at nationalguard.com.
Here are some of the stories that we're working on right now. Good morning, Suncoast.
Some parents in Sarasota County received a recorded call Sunday from the acting principal at Riverview High School. She reported a possible shooting threat. Schools are closed today anyway on the Suncoast due to the President's Day holiday.
Plus, President Trump is going to hold a listening session later on this week with students and teachers to get their feedback on school safety. And coming up next half hour, Manatee County Sheriff's Office is searching for a missing girl. When we come back, we're going to have the details of her disappearance.
5:56 on this holiday Monday, February 19th. Glad you're with us. We'll have more of John Scalzi's prediction for the week. Also, Stephanie's traffic.
Oh, it's going to be good.
And more local news after this. Good morning, Suncoast.